Welcome to the Decide Your Legacy podcast, helping individuals and businesses unleash their potential. Join us every episode as host Adam Gregg discusses what is holding us back and how to find hope for moving forward. Along the way, we discuss developing healthy relationships and navigating life transitions while overcoming fear, stress, and anxiety. Live the life you want, the legacy you decide.
Welcome to today's episode of the Decide Your Legacy podcast. This is episode 137, and today we're going to talk about getting excited about your future. I am your host, Adam Gregg. I am a family therapist and a mental health professional for over 25 years. Also a coach. My passion is to help people face their biggest fears and live their legacy, which is necessary to live your legacy. These things that hold us back, let's face them, let's move forward. I talk about stuff I struggle with myself. I don't have it all figured out. I'm a fellow traveler. My story is one of facing fear. I believe that I may have one of the biggest fears of rejection when I'm not in a good place of anybody that you'll ever meet. Now, I can appear very confident, yet when I'm not in the right state, especially when I haven't gotten sleep, I can really struggle because I have had hurts in my life going back to my childhood. I'm not an introvert, I'm an extrovert, but many people see me as an introvert who have grown up with me. But that's not really my natural personality. It's just the way that I have learned to survive. I have been working on it. Now, people sabotage greatly right near a breakthrough. They're right there about to get past the cusp to something bigger and better, and then they go negative. They get critical. They do something to throw it all away. They neglect their self-care, potentially. They start to do things that numb, like drinking, pornography, isolation, addictive behaviors. They get sucked into drama. They get consumed by things that bother them because they don't believe or they have not actually been to this bigger, brighter, better future in a long, long time. Don't let that be you. I love this topic because when you grasp a vision at the end of this podcast, in fact, when you learn to see the importance of a vision, to have this bigger, brighter, better future, big future in mind, at the end of this podcast, you're going to understand why this is so important to do so. The benefits of grasping a big future. You're going to understand the lies that people believe and then the truths that people can believe as you get excited about a bigger future. And then you're going to be inspired to create this vision yourself in your life. Nothing is more important to your mental health than facing your fears, and nothing is more damaging than playing it safe. Don't be a person that plays it safe. Every day you get up and you face something scary in your life, it's going to be there if you're willing to live with your eyes wide open. So this is the podcast that you do, not just listen to. You get uncomfortable too. All right, so a month ago, a little less than a month ago, I went on my second tandem skydive. That was scary, not as scary as the first one. It was fun, and then the next week, I decided to face another fear, and it was actually scarier than doing that skydive in some ways, and it was to make 10 sales contacts in that week. And I went out to businesses on the Tuesday after the skydive, and I talked to business owners about doing business. They were prospects, people, some who I had done business with before, and most who I had not done any business with before. They were somewhat warm leads. Now, for me to go ahead and do that, I started, just like with the skydive, I started with a vision. I had to believe that I would land and have a good time at some level. It doesn't mean I wasn't afraid on the flight up. I was. Doesn't mean that I didn't want to talk myself out of it. I did, but I went ahead and went through it. Now, when I had these potential rejection situations, which when I go and I talk about the business opportunities that they can engage in, that I can engage in with these potential clients, I can focus on being a bother. I can focus, and this is why this topic's so super important to me, because if I focus on being a bother, an inconvenience, not worth people's time, I'm going to carry myself that way. It's going to come out as I talk on the phone. It's going to come out as I look at people face to face. They're going to know. Now, if I have a vision as I'm making a sales call that this is going to go well, I can help this person. I can be a kind voice. I can be somebody who gives them tools and resources, even without any expense to them except their time. I can be someone that makes their day better, that encourages them, then that helps me to be excited. My whole demeanor changes as I engage in those kinds of contacts, in those kinds of situations. the vision that you can have in the future. So I want you to start off with some kind of an action. And the action is for you to think about an area of your life where you are playing it safe, where you're struggling, where you don't see a big, bright future. Maybe you're overweight. Maybe you're not thriving in your career. Maybe you're playing it safe. You're not starting that next thing. You're not contacting and connecting with relationships that are important to you, but they wouldn't even know it because you've neglected those relationships. You're struggling with anxiety, with worry. You're struggling in some part of your life. Think about that. Focus on that. Write it down, speak it into your phone. It may be one specific relationship, maybe one aspect of your job, but you all have something where you're some area where you're playing it safe. And maybe it's the fact that you haven't even identified, been honest enough with yourself to admit that you're playing it safe. And you're letting time go by and you're looking at other people saying, well, they have it easier. You're looking at other people saying that I don't have what they have, or they're somehow gifted in some way, and you're not willing to look at yourself. I want you to think about that as you go through this, because you're probably really struggling to have a vision for your future in that area. And we're talking about getting excited about your future. So here are some of the benefits to getting excited about your future. If you start to create a vision that is bigger and better than what you actually are grasping right now, you're going to start setting the right goals, not these weak goals that are going towards an area where you've already been there, you're already comfortable. You know, doing career coaching over the years, I have talked to countless, probably hundreds of people that have this golden handcuff mentality. They will not leave a job because of a pension, a retirement plan, opportunities. The situation is safe for them, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I am so grateful for our military, for some of our service professionals, for some of the people that have these pensions and are going to benefit from these things. Now, I don't have one because I was never in the military, never been a teacher, never been in any kind of public service, official public service type job, government type job. But if that's going to keep you from living out your dreams, that's a problem, because that will be a regret that you will have when you are dying, is you didn't live the life that you wanted. You lived the life that someone else had planned for you. I would suggest that that's keeping you from having a bigger, brighter, better future, bigger vision. And it's tying you to something that's not great for your mental health. In fact, it's horrible for your mental health. It's absolutely damaging to your mental health when you can't see a bigger, brighter future. I mean, one of the rules of thumb when I'm helping somebody dealing with anxiety or depression is to expand their time horizon, because their time horizon right now is probably just today. I feel bad today. I'm afraid today. Now, if they think about it over the next 6 months, well, how important is it? Or can you get through this day to day? What are the good things over the next 6 months? Then we go further to a year, then to 5 years, then to 10 years. That always helps people. So another benefit is it's going to help you to make clear decisions, because you have this vision in the future, which is guiding your decision making. Is it leading me towards my vision, or is it not? You're going to start being excited about your future when right now you probably are not in these areas, in this one area that you've identified. You're going to see discipline as desirable because it's leading you towards your vision, which is super exciting. You're going to have improved focus because those things that are distracting you from your vision, you're not going to focus on. You're going to focus on, even if it's something simple like, I was talking to a friend who wants to be a travel agent. It's always been a dream. The guy travels a lot. He has a great job. I mean, he has a job that he is somewhat fond of, it seems like, but he has this other exciting thing in his life, but he doesn't want to leave the job because that's security, and he doesn't want to let go of this vision, this dream that he has. And so he could start part-time just to believe that he could actually do it, but at some point he'll have to take the leap. I can see, though, that as he starts to dream that this is possible, then his focus goes towards the reasons why and the opportunities that he does have to pursue this dream. It's like doors open up that he can look at and say, I have the potential to walk through that now. And that changes his whole demeanor. It changes his attitude. It changes his excitement for life, because he has better focus, because he can see this potential vision. Whether he goes through that door or not is up to him, but he can at least see it now. It's going to give you meaning to the mundane activities, these difficult activities. Like, I was talking to somebody recently he owns a business, but he told me he doesn't like to make phone calls. But he does it anyway because he needs to, as the owner of the business. He has about 30 employees. There's certain customers that he needs to call, certain situations he needs to actually deal with. He doesn't like it, but he does it, and he tries to manufacture a positive attitude, a good vision towards the outcome of those phone calls. Anyway, it's also going to attract like-minded people towards you because those that have a vision, it's like an entrepreneur attracts other entrepreneurs. People that play it safe attract other people that are going to play it safe. And I see very successful people in very prominent jobs who do not know how to think like a visionary outside of their job and their family. But with their personal life, with other aspects of their life, when it takes a bigger risk, they don't know how to go there. And they can't relate to entrepreneurial people because entrepreneurial people, by default, they think of the opportunity and stretching themselves to something bigger and better. It's a very different mode of thinking, and neither are wrong because not everybody is designed to be an entrepreneur. A lot of people are not designed to take that kind of a risk, to risk everything. One being that they're not going to depend on their financial well-being on anything outside of themselves and God. They're just not going to do it. They're letting go of all the security to do that. And they're believing that it's possible. That's a major decision. And they're making a decision to be a self-leader, to not be led by other people, to be a self-leader, and to put people around them that can inspire them and hold them accountable, but they're leading themselves. Crucial distinctions to note when you are recognizing somebody that is entrepreneurial. They think like a business owner. They think differently than somebody that is, and I'm not trying to criticize this, but they think somebody differently than somebody else that doesn't have that kind of mentality. And, a great benefit that people don't often see, when you have a vision, you naturally decrease worry in your life because it's going to channel that worry towards something that's possible, not towards things that are out of your control. Now, there's another thing I want you to grasp here, and these are these 4 big lies that I see people believing. Over 25 years, I've seen these consistently. People that struggle with this whole idea of actually creating a vision, they believe these lies. So one lie is that my vision, once I set it, then it cannot change. And so this perfectionistic mentality keeps them from actually establishing and communicating a vision to other people, a dream, an ideal. They don't want a dream because then it's potentially going to have to change. That's a problem because your vision, like most of your life, is something that's going to change over time because you're going to get new skills, you're going to get new insight, you're going to understand things better, and that's going to make you clarify a different type of vision. It's going to be related to that initial vision, but it's actually going to be bigger and better because you've got more information. And that's the challenge that people have. And I want you to set an ideal vision. Idealism is so important here. It's realistic, but it's so much bigger than you thought possible, but you know it's realistic. That's so crucial because it is not your destination, your vision. It's what you set your goals by. It's the path that you're taking. It's illuminating your path. I hope you get to everything there, but if you do reach every aspect of your vision, then it's not big enough. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, imagination is more important than knowledge. Now, the second lie that I see is that people will act like and believe that it's impossible to set an ideal vision. It's not good for me to do that because I'm dreaming way beyond my capabilities. I can't do it. It's just too uncomfortable. What am I doing? I'm just dreaming. I'm making stuff up. This doesn't make any sense to anybody around me. Why would it make sense to me? Yet your dreams are yours. Your dreams and your real friends, people that care about you, they're going to help feed those dreams. They're going to help you believe in those dreams even more. So the truth is that being idealistic is fun and it's exciting and it's energizing. That's the truth. And that'll motivate you to do it. You take the time, even if it's just taking 1 hour on a weekend where you're going to just dream. And I'm going to show you how to do that later in this podcast, give you some actual specific tools that you can engage that'll help you to do this dreaming, which is so incredibly exciting and fun. I had a couple do it recently who are going through the coaching process with Decide Your Legacy, and they spent some time to clarify an exciting 10-year vision individually. And then they came together in my office and they shared some of these things. And I was pretty amazed by the similarity between their visions and the desire to actually encourage each other in those areas. And I've seen it bring their marriage closer, bring them closer as well. So the bigger the future, the better the present. It's going to make your better more exciting and more fun as you clarify your vision. The third lie that I see, and people will tell me this too, is an ideal vision will box me in. It's going to box me into something. And how am I going to see the other opportunities because I'm so focused on this one? I'm going to live with this tunnel vision. And the reality is no, it's not. It's actually going to make you more flexible because you're channeling your energy towards something that's very important to you. And it's going to have this trickle effect towards all these other areas of your life that are important as well and give you clarity in those areas as well because you're channeling your energy. You're focusing in one way. You're not so scattered, which is going to bring you rest and clarity in other parts of your life. And it's going to be flexible in general overall because you're going to grow, your vision is going to grow as well. So great things are not done by impulse, but by a series of small things brought together. Vincent van Gogh, what a great example through his life. What a great example of somebody creating a vision and moving towards that vision. He had so many different ideas that he pursued again and again, and he invented military weapons. He was an architect. He was an engineer. He was an artist, obviously. He was involved in the building in some of the engineering involved in the construction of the cathedral at Milan. I mean, one of the largest cathedrals in the world as well. So amazing stuff starts with a vision. You're going to start improving your health with a vision. You're going to stop your addictions with a vision. You're going to have to believe that it's possible, or you won't go to that 12-step meeting. Or why would you go to the gym if you didn't believe it was possible? I guess you could be forced to go, which some people are, I guess, with health issues and things, but eventually if they're going to make those long-term changes, they're going to move towards a bigger vision, a bigger future. I am in the business of helping people reach a big future. That's how I know who I want to work with as a client too, when they can grasp at some level that there is this bigger, better future and articulate that, and then they realize that there are resources, Decide Your Legacy being one of them, not the only one that can help them get there. It's over. I mean, at that point, you're willing to do whatever it takes to get there because you believe it's possible. So why would you succumb to rejection? Why would you succumb to not facing your fears? Why would you succumb to being afraid and not making those calls and not reaching out to those potential clients? Because you believe in that much bigger vision. You believe that you can actually get there. That's what confidence is all about to me. So here's 3 actions that you can take to actually get some clarity, to get this bigger, brighter future. So one thing I do with clients, done this for years, hundreds of clients, is to help them identify the exciting opportunities that they have over the next 10 years. They start to picture some things that are possible. So I went to visit a college, Gordon College. It's north of Boston, very close to Boston, with my daughter Emerson. And we walked around the campus. We met some teachers there. We met some students that were there. We got to see, it's a beautiful campus. It was a beautiful day. It was an amazing trip. And we could visualize, at least I could visualize my daughter going there. I know she could visualize herself going there too, because she got super excited about it. And I know, there's other schools to look at, and she is looking at other schools, and she has looked at other schools. But I could visualize this specific type of culture being really positive for her. I could see that, and I could see her grasping that. I could visualize myself going to Boston more as well. And that was exciting because I could go to live sporting events and I could enjoy the culture of Boston as well. So that's crucial. And, once you can visualize it, then things start to move. I know that if I'm going to visualize a relationship going well, I don't want to visualize myself as a bother. I want to visualize myself as somebody who can help them, who can be helped by them, who can encourage them. That's one of the keys for me making sales calls, is to realize that I have something to offer. I can help people. I have a service. It's not for everybody. It's a service I believe in. It's a great service. It can help a lot of people. But if I'm talking to you and you don't want to buy it, that's not an offensive thing to me. It's just either not a fit right now, or it's not for you, or you don't want it, or it's a yes. But if I go into it approaching it like, I have this great, valuable service, it's helped thousands of people, it can help this person potentially if it's the right fit, then why would I not want to tell them about it? Why would I not want to reach out to that person and be encouraging when I believe that's what I'm actually offering? So an activity that I can have you go through right now is, in fact, you can do this on your own. You just start to picture your life in 10 years going really well. And you can look at different aspects of your life, like your health, your spiritual life, your financial life, your friends, your hobbies, career, anything that you want to picture in your life 10 years from now, it's going very well. And then you go and backtrack into that saying, what happened over the last 10 years that were contributors to it going very well, to me perceiving it as having gone very well? And so there's things that have probably happened in your health. There's things that have probably happened relationally. Maybe you've gotten remarried. Maybe you have had another child. Maybe you have started a business. Maybe you have ended a business. Maybe you have quit a job. Maybe you've built some different relationships, friendships. Maybe you've started a church. Maybe you've started some health regimen and you've made great strides in it over the last 10 years. But you're starting to visualize the possibilities. Incredibly powerful activity for you to engage in. So the next thing that I would encourage you to consider is to start visualizing, picture, like we did when we were at Gordon College, picturing this being a great experience for Emerson. I was, at least. I haven't really actually talked to Emerson about it. I could just tell by her demeanor and her excitement since we've gotten back that she could picture herself fitting in and having a great college experience there. Now, that's not set in stone, but it's the vibe that I get right now. So we want to have this visual of ourselves arriving and dealing with situations, handling our goals, overcoming challenges in our lives successfully. We want to picture that in our mind. And we can do that with our eyes closed or our eyes open. There's lots of opportunities to do this. Sometimes people get pictures of themselves in the past at an ideal weight and they post it on their fridge and they start visualizing themselves getting healthier because of that. Or they put a picture of a dog that they want to have in the future and then they focus on that consistently. Hopefully they don't, get over focus on it to the point where they have 10 dogs, but they are going to focus on getting something new in their lives, incorporating that into their life. Now, it'll have a big impact when you focus on it consistently. So every day when you get up, I see this process occurring in my life. There's something in my life that's stirring that is a fear that I have not faced that I'm being challenged to face. It's something relational. It's usually not skydiving. Like I've told you before, that's much less of a scary thing than dealing with rejection, dealing with discouragement, facing yourself, the truth about yourself, your shortcomings, facing criticism, facing difficult interactions, conflict. That is scarier doing something that is physically scary, that is facing a fear like fear of heights or fear of dying kind of thing, like you would probably do if you skydived. And, if you're interested, let me know. Maybe I'll go with you again. I am really considering getting my first solo jump, on the way to a Class A license, but we'll see. Not committing to that yet. So, because I know if I commit, then I got to do it. I'm not going to do that to you because I don't want to let you down. But you know what? Maybe I'll do it. That would be kind of fun. I'm kind of leaning in that direction. You can visualize having a calm conversation with somebody that is often triggering for you. So somebody in your family. I know for years and years, probably over a decade, I give clients that I do coaching with permission to reach out to me when they're going to have a stressful situation beforehand and after. And I encourage them to do so. So they're going to have a talk with their boss. They're going to have a talk with their spouse. They're going to reach out and ask for a raise or reach out to a client and deal with a scary issue. They're going to fire somebody, hire somebody, whatever it might be, some kind of interaction that's scary. And they call me, and then what I will do with them often is a rehearsal or a role play. A role play is when they will be the individual they're going to be communicating with, and I'll be them. And so I'm giving them an example, and then we'll switch roles. They'll rehearse while I am the person they're going to be communicating with, and they're actually walking through how they will, and they plan to communicate with that individual. Now, what they're doing is really powerful because they're actually in that situation. As I coach them, they're visualizing themselves at some level having a successful interaction. If they're willing to. I mean, it's awkward at first. It's awkward for everybody that does this. I get resistance the first time with everybody that I challenge to do this because it's not fun to actually think through this stuff in advance. It triggers some of the same emotions that you'll have when you face that situation. So you are proactively facing some fears as you rehearse and role play. That's a really cool thing. And people that are performers, they know this. They know that it's scary to rehearse. It's not like you get up on stage with the audience of your colleagues in a play on Broadway or whatever, and you don't have any fear when you do that. I mean, you're going to be a little less anxious potentially, but you're still going to be afraid. You're still facing the stuff in advance. Now, so what I've had happen, and I had this happen just recently, is somebody was going to have an interaction with their dad, who is a guy that is not a big communicator, okay? And he's a driven person, and often when he communicates, it's feedback to push forward. And they were going to have an assertive communication about wanting to get to know their father better, to really know what they like and who they are and how they're doing, and to go deeper. But they knew they'd get some resistance and pushback. And so I was their dad, and they were speaking in a rehearsal to me like I'm their father. And I could just see them tense up, and I could see them having a real tough time with this. But then, and I haven't actually followed up on this interaction yet, but generally when I do and I hear how it actually goes, and I probably will in the next couple of weeks hear from this client. In fact, I know I will because I'll see them. I hear that it went much better than they expected because they rehearsed it and they were visualizing success in the process. I was helping them visualize that success. So you can work on that. I recently visualized myself with a friend not getting triggered in a situation as a dad that I often get triggered. And so I was talking to my buddy Ben about it, and we were just talking it through. We didn't actually rehearse it or role play it, but we just talked it through. I talked through how I would want to react. He talked to me about his perspective on the situation. He gave me some confidence and encouragement about the situation, and it worked out really well. And I've had a number of interactions calmly that have been more triggering in recent weeks because of that practice in that situation. I was visualizing after that conversation with Ben that I could actually handle this situation. So if you found this podcast helpful, I want you to check out Shatterproof Yourself. These are 7 steps to a giant leap in your mental health. The first step that I take clients through in Shatterproof Yourself, there's 4 worksheets, some of which I've exposed you to in this podcast that you get to fill out. I walk you through those in video, and you get to fill those out, download them. But there's actually 7 steps. You go through this content with your team, with your spouse. I have married couples going through it. I have families that go through it. And it's going to change your life if you do it. And, if you want to see and get just a little snippet of this, you can go through Shatterproof Yourself Lite. And that's a 4-page worksheet that goes over all 7 steps that you can complete as well. And then that's going to inspire you to be interested and potentially purchase the full version of Shatterproof Yourself. So it's a soft launch right now. I would encourage you to hit the link for either of those, Shatterproof Yourself or Shatterproof Yourself Lite. Check it out. So the third thing you can do to work on this vision, creating this vision, is to have some fun being idealistic, all right? So getting excited about your future is, just like I said, it's exciting. So you go ahead and you say, I'm going to take 2 hours this weekend. I'm going to grab my journal, go down to the park, go to Barnes & Noble, which is a brand new Barnes & Noble that opened up in the area that I live in the country, and daughter's been going there all the time. Yeah, probably every day. Maybe not that much. That's an exaggeration. It opened up about a week ago. She loves that place. I love that place. Great place to go. You just have a little mini retreat. And in Shatterproof Yourself, you'll see that if you ever purchase that, I have a worksheet where you break down all 7 parts of your life, your financial, your social, your friends, your career, and you look at this ideal based on a 5, 10, or 25-year vision. I believe that entrepreneurial people like to mix it up. So they may say 5-year vision this week, and then a couple months later, they might clarify a 10-year vision and then go out to a 25-year vision. I'm constantly striving to get my clients to think way out in the future, because that starts changing your decisions today. When you believe that you're going to be healthy in 25 years, even when you're 51 like me, that impacts my decisions today. It makes me want to eat healthy. It makes me want to go to bed on time. It makes me want to make good decisions as far as what I eat. It makes me want to make good decisions as far as how I manage stress and the exercise that I get, because I plan on being around and healthy at 75, 76 years old. There you have it. So you can do this on your own. You start looking at all those areas and start dreaming big, and then tell people about it. Ask people. You have people in your life that are imaginers, that are dreamers, that are visionaries. And those are people you want to ask, what are your thoughts on this? People that know you, what do you think here? Can you help me dream? Can you help me think bigger? What do you believe is possible for me? I have an employee like that. He's a visionary type person, Lloyd, and he's great to ask for ideas because his brain goes places that mine doesn't actually go. It's high level. It's big. I'm better at refining it. He's better at giving it to me, and can help greatly when you interact with people like that in your life. So I've had clients over the last year lose a bunch of weight, get really healthy. It started with a vision. They started to believe that that was possible. And it generally started as like a 1-year vision. And then maybe they broke it down to goals over the next year. Maybe it was a 6-month vision. One of them had a 6-month vision. One of them had a much longer term vision for his health. And he just lost the weight and got much healthier faster than he thought he could. And I'm blown away by these things. It shocks me when I see that kind of stuff, because I don't even know where they're at necessarily. Some of my clients I see once a month. So once a month is a long period of time. And I saw somebody today I hadn't seen in a month, and I was impressed. And they had made some changes, significant changes, and they couldn't even fully describe how. But I want to explore that more when I talk to them again. Kind of cool. So you start dreaming. I'm in the business of helping people have big futures. That's what we do at Decide Your Legacy. So let's wrap this up. Some actions you can take. Focus on those exciting opportunities over the next 10 years. Start visualizing success. Picture it. Think areas of your life where you've had success, and start visualizing you yourself having that success again as you pursue those types of actions. focus on this ideal vision. It will illuminate the path for you to get there and show you how to set the right goals. It's not the vision. You don't have to get there. It's not going to be perfect. You're not going to reach every aspect of your ideal vision. You may reach many aspects of it. Check out Shatterproof Yourself, the full version. The first section is on clarifying your vision. For a little snippet of Shatterproof Yourself, check out Shatterproof Yourself Light. Hit the link. You'll get that information. With anything in your life, when you wake up, there's going to be a fear that's crying out to you to face. You can decide to face it. Then once you decide, then it's going to take courage to face it. You're going to hit fear. On the other side of courage is growth and is confidence and competence, and that creates some growth. You can see me illustrating that cycle as well. So check out that link as well in the show notes. So remember that 20% of transformational change is insight. You're gaining insight today. 80% is action. An okay plan that you act on is 100 times better than a great plan that you do nothing with. So what resonates the most with you today? By the end of the day, today, apply something that you've learned. And if you really want it to stick, teach it casually to somebody else. I'm going to sign off today the way that I always do. Make it your mission to live the life now, today, that you want to be remembered for 10 years after you're gone. People are talking about you 10 years after you've passed away at Thanksgiving. What do you hope they say? You decide your legacy, no one else. I appreciate you greatly, and I'll see you next time.
This show is part of the ICT Podcast Network. For more information, visit ictpod.net.